Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy. We're here with Caleb from Survivor Game Changers in Co-Wrong.
Hi, Caleb. Thanks for speaking with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Did you consider not playing Survivor again, or was that an easy yes for you?
Oh, no, it was simple. It was a very easy choice for me.
How did your family feel about you going out again?
They definitely wanted me to play again. I wasn't sure they were okay with how quick I wanted to play again, but they definitely was very supportive, and they were okay with me playing again.
How did you prepare differently this time?
This time, the only way I prepared differently was I actually ate food. Like going into this season, I ate a lot of food, and I had 3 or 4 months to prepare to actually play in this season. The season prior, I was basically preparing to compete in a bodybuilding show. I was at like 8 or 9% body fat, so it only had 2.5 weeks to decide what I wanted to do. So this time I just basically was like, hey, I got time to eat and get some calories in me and fuel up and say, that way I have some energy to play out there and hopefully no more heat strokes.
Yeah. Did you feel like you had recovered? Were you at 100% when you went out this time?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was 100%. Obviously, I was hungry, but I still had a lot left in me. I felt good. There was definitely there wasn't anything holding me back this time.
What was your reaction to the other returning players when you saw who they were, and was there anyone you did or didn't want to play with?
No, not really. It was I was excited to play with a lot of people, especially some of the legends. I was excited to play with some of the big dogs. I used that to my advantage, like Ozzy and Malcolm and all the stronger players. I'd seen myself matching up with them. I thought it would be smart. I just basically, in my mind, was like, I got these people that are all very good at the game, and they're threats in the game, and if I have myself around them, maybe I'm not going to look such of a big threat. So I wanted to use all those people to my advantage in the game, and that was basically my whole strategy, I guess, behind what I was going to do, was hide myself with other threats. It was really nice to see a lot of those people out there.
How did the Game Changers title affect your game?
In all honesty, I don't personally. I don't believe I was a game changer. I guess. I mean, in a way, I like when Jeff described it to me, I guess I could see where they would come up with that. I just think people looked at me as like, what did he do? In all reality, but in a way, I guess use that to my advantage, because other people, they know what they did, and that could be scary to them as, well, they did this to change the game, so that's what we're looking for. Well, me, they don't know. I guess in a way, I was going to try to use the unknown to my advantage, but I don't really think it harms me. But I mean, I can see where people wonder what I did do to change the game, because I even myself wonder, because what I did to change the game was nothing like anyone else out there. So I question that myself.
Why did you and Malcolm choose to vote out Tony instead of Sandra?
Well, for one, because we didn't have the numbers. And me personally, if I voted Sandra, I knew Tony was leaving no matter what. No matter what, because I tried my best to get people to switch and at least send Aubrey or Sandra home. But Tony had kind of dug his own grave a little bit. Before Tribal, he was just running around and trying to question people and try to make people talk and make people change their minds, and people didn't like that. So in all reality, Tony kind of dug his own hole there. But, I still went around and I was like, we should keep Tony because of this. Sandra needs to go because of this. Aubrey needs to go because of this. And I kept trying, but by the end of it all, it was basically just that me and Malcolm were the only people that really wanted him to stay. And when it comes down to that, numbers are very powerful. And you go against the numbers, then you could be next. Really, all that crossed my mind was, well, if I write Sandra's name down and Tony goes home tonight, then Sandra's going to write mine down next time we go to Tribal. So that's kind of how my thought process went. I didn't want Tony to go home at all, but I mean, when you just have 1 or 2 people write his name down, what good is that? What good is it going to do for you? It's not going to do anything but paint a target on your back because you went against everyone else.
How did you feel about your new tribe after the swap, where you ended up being the biggest physical threat?
I wasn't very happy with the outcome of the new tribe, but the only thing you can do is try to adapt. That's part of the game, is adapting to the circumstances, adapting to the environment, and all that good stuff, I felt a little safer because Brad was there. And I know everyone knows that Brad is a good player. He's strong. He's good at manipulation, and he's proven that in other season he played. And I believe that ending up with Ty and ending up with Brad became a downfall for me because Brad didn't want another alpha male in the group. With another big, strong player, even stronger than him, it makes him not needable anymore. He's not needed. Well, we got Caleb. We don't need Brad. And I think that might be how Brad looked at it, because he did not want me there. I mean, he was quick to say, no, Caleb's got to go, and he convinced everybody that I needed to leave and why I was such a big threat and all that. And basically, it kind of, I guess it just kind of, it hurt me. I thought it would help me because, I figured, well, maybe Brad being a strong guy and me being a strong guy, maybe we can work together and kind of run this deal. But he wanted to run it by himself. As long as he had all them women in his front pocket, I guess that, that's what he wanted and that's what he got.
Did you search for the hidden immunity idol?
Yes. I searched for the hidden immunity idol before the challenge and after. Ty and I looked before the challenge, and after the challenge, after we lost, everyone was down on the beach catching some rays, and that's when I took the opportunity to go. Because I honestly, in my mind, I was like, I'm going to go home if I don't find an idol, so I don't care if they see me looking or not. So I went blazing. I went and looked for that idol for probably an hour and a half, and I looked every which way, up, down, left, right, and I had no luck. I know that's a big question to everyone on social media is, Caleb, why did you not look for an idol? Why did you give up? And that's not the case. They didn't show it, but that's definitely not the case. I fought the best I could to stay in that game before Tribal and after. I tried to flip people's votes. I tried to sway people. I looked for an idol. And at Tribal, I tried to convince people still why I should be there and why Sierra or Haley should leave. And they were just so convinced that I was such a big threat to their game. I guess Brad done a really good job convincing everybody that.
Did you still have plenty of food that you brought from the ship left?
We had some fruit. I definitely wouldn't say we had plenty of food, but we did have some fruit. We had a little bit of rice, which obviously we portioned out, very small sizes of rice for everyone to eat. But, it was enough to get me through the few days that I was there. The 9 days that I was there, you go from your everyday life consuming 3,000, 3,500 calories to 100 for every day you're out there. You maybe have a piece of fruit or two and then a handful of rice. But other than that, it's kind of, you got to go fishing and try to catch eels and do all that kind of fun stuff. So, but there really wasn't that much food, but there was quite a bit of fruit.
So we saw you out with the sling. Were you able to get anything?
You mean as far as fish and stuff?
Yeah, fish and eels.
Yeah, I personally only caught an eel. I stabbed the eel, and when I went to go pick it up, it actually slid off. Me and Tony were so happy because we were going to eat the eel. Well, later on, I can't remember who it was, but someone else had ended up spearing an eel, and they brought it up, and we started to cut it open and get it ready to eat, and the producers actually made us put it away, and they said it was poisonous, that it would kill us if we ate it. So,
whoa.
Ooh.
Yeah, I didn't want to leave on a stretcher again.
No. In the last immunity challenge, how did your tribe decide which three would do which part?
That was mainly Brad and Sierra's doing. I thought to myself, they claimed that they didn't want to do the first part because they were too big. But why would they want to put the two most unathletic people with me during the first part of that challenge? I don't know. Maybe they wanted to kind of lose it on purpose and send me home. I was basically dragging Ty and Debbie around that entire challenge. It just kind of, it made sense because when you had to go through all them sticks and stuff to get through there, it would be hard for a big, tall, lanky person to get through there. I understand that. And Ty is very small, and Debbie was the other small person, so it made sense to use them, but I mean, they were just, they're just so unathletic. It made it harder for me because you're only as fast as your slowest person, and they were both really slow. Yeah. Which, when they slowed me down, which made all three of us slow. And now, although, we did catch up as far as the bucket pouring, I was the one pouring the water, and I'd done really good at that, I feel. Our 5 pours equaled up to everyone else's 6 pour, so I caught us up there, and then it was up to Brad and Sierra to do their part at the puzzle making, and they lost.
Well, we noticed that Brad stopped doing the puzzle when Zeke said they had finished. Was that a rule of the challenge, or could he have continued solving the puzzle?
You were supposed to continue solving the puzzle until Jeff says that you're done. So when Zeke said, I'm done, that could have been one of them things I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe Brad did think they won. Maybe he thought it was Jeff saying that they were done.
Yep.
But normally Jeff doesn't say we're done. He says Nuku wins, or Nuku is finished first, or, whatever he says. But, obviously, just because someone says they win doesn't mean the puzzle's done right.
Exactly.
He has to confirm the puzzle, and then once he confirms the puzzle, that's when it's over. So
because they were only one board away, and him pausing and stopping to see if they really had it could have made all the difference.
Yeah, it really could have. If he didn't pause and look up to see if they did, maybe we could have got that last board in and won. In all reality, we could have. But that's definitely not the case. And he looked up and took time away from the puzzle, and we lost the challenge.
Did Ty tell you he was voting for you before Tribal Council?
Ty told me that Haley was going home before Tribal. He told me that I was safe, that we got all the votes against Haley, and that I had nothing to worry about.
Was there anything else interesting discussed at Tribal Council that we didn't get to see?
Sierra had mentioned to me that the reason I should leave was because Ty came to my wedding. I thought that was very interesting because she tried to use mine and Ty's personal relationship against me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to remind her that previously that day, her and Haley were reminiscing about their matching tattoos they got after their season was over and how fun the trip was. And they went and got matching tattoos. And, I brought that up. I just basically said, well, if I should go home because Ty came to my wedding, that means you or Haley should go home because you have matching tattoos.
Yeah, that's good.
She tried to use it against me, so I was going to use it against her. And basically, her comment back was, "Oh, good one, Caleb. That was like 3 years ago." And she tried to use a time restraint as detouring everyone away from what I said. Like her and Haley had been friends much longer than Ty and I have been friends. And just because he came to my wedding doesn't mean he won't stab me in the back. And it doesn't mean that I won't stab him in the back. So it clearly looks as if Brad didn't want me there, and Sierra wanted to use it that Ty came to my wedding, so I shouldn't be there. It sounds like a very crappy excuse to send someone home, but if that was the excuse that she wanted to use, good for her.
What's next for you?
There is some stuff in the making. I will be leaving soon to go do some other stuff out in L.A., and I can't disclose it, but, people will get to see me again. Hopefully this next thing that I do will be a better outcome for my fans and for my family, and all you can do is give it your best shot, play the best you can, and play with the cards that you're dealt. Pray that you come out on top. And for this time playing Survivor, although I walked out, I just dealt a good hand.
Well, Caleb, thank you for sharing with us today, and good luck to you and your family.
Thank you very much. Thank you guys for having me.
Okay, bye-bye now.
All right, bye.